Good morning. You're listening to WTIM, your information station, and our morning show. It's brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Grayson Bauman, and joining us in this segment, I've got two of the many master gardeners, and that is Gwen Podesky and Sandy Klein, joining us here today with the University of Illinois Extension. To the both of you, good morning.
How are you?
Good morning.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Cold. It's 14
Right.
degrees.
Right.
It is certainly cold, and hopefully you guys had a nice Thanksgiving holiday. I hope
It
between the
was.
two of you.
It
I was
was
in Texas.
very pleasant.
So you have
So-
a much nicer
And
Thanksgiving
I was
temperature.
stranded because I couldn't get back.
Oh.
Really?
I couldn't get back because the air at Bloomington was closed down.
Oh my goodness! So
Yeah.
with all that snow coming that Saturday and
Right.
Sunday,
So I
Certainly.
was there a week and a day.
Oh my.
well, not a bad deal then when it comes to spending a little extra time in a much warmer climate. Well, I'm glad to hear that Thanksgiving was good by both of you, and we continue into the holiday season. And we wanted to talk first and foremost a little bit about holiday plants and caring for them, getting
Right.
them to your home.
Right. Because you have lots of people have lots of holiday greenery and holiday plants that they get. First and foremost is the Christmas tree. And this, in spite of Grayson's former college student ideas, is to water your Christmas tree. You know how much fun it is to crawl down under a Christmas tree and try to water it?
Not very.
Well, this is the answer. It's just a big, long funnel in colors of red and green. So you remember that that's what
Where-
it's for.
Where do you get them?
I think I got that at Ace Hardware. I
So-
believe that came from Ace Hardware here in town years ago.
One of these because they have a real Christmas tree. They're in South Carolina, so they have those beautiful Carolina Christmas trees.
Yeah.
And so, with that being the case, we need to make sure that we have got at least a dish underneath.
Right. So
probably.
when you bring that Christmas tree home, there are lots of important things. First of all, you're going to want to inspect that Christmas tree. If you don't cut it fresh, pull on the needles, see how healthy they seem. If a lot of needles come off in your hand, I have had real trees many years. And the one tree I had a problem with was the noble fir. I had a noble fir that lost a lot of needles, and it was the one tree I took down very early because I was nervous about it. But make sure that when you get it home, put a fresh cut on the bottom because plants seal off very quickly with plant sap and whatever. And you want that fresh cut so that the xylem can take the water up and keep it going. And then you need to keep that basin full. Invest in a good Christmas tree stand that has a fairly deep basin, and get that, and then water it
Yeah.
on a regular basis. And that's really the key. I always like to talk about that in December because those are disastrous fires. Any fire is disastrous, but it's just good to keep those plants as healthy as you can. And the same goes for things like if you bring home fresh wreaths and things, of course, you're not going to probably set those on fire, but still make sure they're ask the person who made them, do they use wilt proof? There's a product called wilt proof that they spray on greenery that will keep it going for a while. And always with those things, be aware of where you put it in your home. Don't put it right by the furnace grate or furnace register. Put it away from that. Keep it in a relatively cool area. If you're brave enough to try to do a living Christmas tree, keep that outside as long as possible and keep it in a cool room. And then get it back, have that hole dug well before Christmas so that you know where you're going to plant it outside.
Once that time comes back
Mhm,
around.
mhm,
Okay.
Yeah.
A quick question for you here, because you mentioned making sure that maybe you get an extra cut on that tree so that a way it does so. Does that still apply if I went to a tree farm and they cut it down fresh for me there? Or do you have any recommendations when it comes to even like picking a Christmas tree based on what you see or what you're feeling?
Probably that way you would be able to kind of course, I usually get it home, and you know how trees are, how they grow in the car and they're bigger than they looked in the field.
Sure.
So you sometimes have to cut it off anyway because it's bigger than you thought.
We always cut ours
Yeah.
off, and
Yeah.
we would get a fresh one.
And just make it down to a
But
size.
then we got it home, and my husband would
cut it.
cut off the bottom.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So anyway, just to make sure it stands firm in the stand and things. I think that it depends on what you like. I mean, I loved, and I always got pre-cut trees because I loved Fraser firs,
Mhm.
and they are the most beautiful, one of the most beautiful
They
Christmas
are.
trees.
They're a beautiful
So
tree.
get one that's full, that, all, if your room is, if you're able to see that tree from all sides, walk all the way around it, make sure it looks okay. I would kind of inspect it for critters.
To the best of your ability.
To the best of your ability. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And you sometimes get, little spiders and other
Spiders
things that come
yep.
in. I've had other things. So yeah. But
Just being aware of a few different things, but especially when you bring it home, make sure you're taking care of it. Make sure you're not making it the biggest piece of kindling in your home.
exactly. And that's an important factor. That really is, an important factor in it. But they are beautiful. The fragrance of them and just it was always fun. As many years as I had a real tree, I loved having a different looking tree every year. It was fun.
The smell is
fun.
maybe the best part.
And the storage was the best part.
Didn't have to store it. Yeah, you can get rid of it after. Yeah, I know.
That's exactly right.
That's
well,
the thing
and then after Christmas, be sure when you take the tree down, you can use it in a variety of ways outside. You can hang peanut butter balls and suet cakes and things in it for the birds.
Mm-hmm. The birds love a tree,
And many communities collect those and put them in the lakes for small fish habitat. And I always used to cut a lot of mine up and use it for mulching around roses and things in my garden.
So
azaleas love that.
Mm-hmm.
The pine.
They do.
Really?
Right. So anytime, if you can use that for mulching, that it's a good form of acid addition for your
soil
plants.
Okay. So don't let it go to complete waste.
No,
don't let it just sit out there, but make
Right.
something out of it. And as you mentioned too, say you don't have a purpose for it, it can be just dropped in a lake as a fish habitat too, whenever next spring comes and rolls around.
Yeah. But make sure you get all of those ornaments off of it. I always used to make my son lie underneath it and look for ornaments before we took it out.
You never know if one got pushed back a little too far.
No, you don't.
With that being the case for you two, anything else when it comes to caring for holiday plants or other holiday plants?
Well,
we have the Christmas cactus. Mine's all it just gobs of blooms on it right now. It's
so is it blooming?
They're not popped open yet, but it's full of buds.
And we're still all on the lookout for a white Christmas cactus, some of it. So we'd like to get some starts of a white Christmas cactus.
Yes, we would.
The other thing is poinsettias. This is turning into a tough Christmas season to bring poinsettias home. I was in Kroger the other day and lovely poinsettias.
Oh, beautiful.
But when you bring those home, they really hate the cold. So be sure you cover them up with a plastic sleeve or some way to get them to your car, get them in the house as soon as possible.
Their home really is in Mexico. Mm-hmm. That's why here you have to protect them, like Gwen said.
It's funny that a Christmas kind of flower, Christmas kind of plant is from Mexico.
I think we owe that to the Victorians. I think that they enjoyed the red and green colors and the time that it bloomed, and they're and now they're brought to bloom. They're brought to the point of bud in greenhouses. So they're all, and they've at least they're not spray painting them blue and purple anymore. That used to drive me wild.
That was a thing, huh?
Oh yeah, because then we'd get calls. Are those real? I'm like, no, they've been spray painted. But anyway, they have got some lovely variegated white and pink and red. And
I saw a red one with white spots on it. It was beautiful, beautiful.
So make sure when you actually get your poinsettias, though, to make sure they're a little warmer.
Keep them warm.
Right, yeah. And try, if you've got a holiday dish or something, set it in that. Take it out of the foil if possible, because the foil just kind of they like to dry out and then be watered. So keep it to where you can tell when it needs to be watered, and keep it again away from registers and away from heat sources.
Sure. So we've talked Christmas trees, we've talked poinsettias and Christmas cactuses. Anything else holiday plants?
Well, people have rosemary that they have, and my rosemary is currently blooming, and it does usually bloom about this time. I don't know what particular variety it is, but rosemary is a popular herb to use, especially on pork and
Turkey.
chicken and
Turkey.
Right. So that is another thing that sometimes people will bring home for the Christmas season. And, just like I said, a variety of fresh porch pots. I have a friend who does porch pots that is having a ball.
Well,
with those.
and around Christmas, you can purchase the rosemary trees.
Right. And they
They're-
usually
they're-
trim them up into
yeah.
like little Christmas
Yeah,
trees.
they look
but-
like little pine trees, but it's
Okay.
really rosemary.
That's cool. I did not know about that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things that I've learned here today, especially about poinsettias. I did not realize that they were as fragile or as easily, not going to do real well in the winter weather
No.
that we have right now. And we do want to talk winter weather and some other things when we come back, but let's take ourselves a break. We've been talking about holiday plants and taking care of that Christmas tree, especially those live ones. That's what we're really focused on here. We're joined by Gwen Podesky and Sandy Klein, Master Gardeners with the University of Illinois Extension. And we'll come right on back with them in just one moment. You're listening to WTIM, your information station.
Your information station. WTIM.
Take News Talk WTIM programming with you wherever you go, both live and archived. News Talk WTIM streams 24/7 simply by clicking the Listen Live icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. And to hear archived WTIM programming like the morning or noon farm shows, expanded local newscast, morning show interviews, Swap Shop AM or PM, click the audio on demand icon in the upper left-hand corner. Whether it's your smartphone, tablet, or desktop, News Talk WTIM stream is with you wherever you go 24 hours a day at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
The Taylorville Tornadoes are on WTIM. Listen on air or online for all football, boys basketball, and playoff games of both teams on AM, FM, and streamed on the WTIM mobile app. Sponsored by the Taylorville Community Credit Union, the Christian County YMCA, Rural Rentals, and Scooters Coffee.
The purple and gold are coming your way. The Taylorville Tornadoes are going to do it today.
AgriTalk is the radio talk show for American agriculture. Hi, everybody. I'm your host, Chip Flory. We join you weekday mornings from 10 to 11 on WTIM on AM and FM and on the WTIM streams. We provide farmers and ranchers with timely insights and information aimed at improving their operations. Join me, Chip Flory, weekdays at 10:06 on your ag information station, WTIM.
Whether you're an experienced investor or a first-time home buyer, Joe Kirby at Kirby Real Estate in Taylorville is here to help you find the property of your dreams. Here's Joe.
As a second-generation realtor and auctioneer and over 20 years of experience in Taylorville, I've seen the ins and outs of every aspect of buying and selling real estate. Year after year, we're a top producer in the area, and Kirby Real Estate has become a staple in the community, known for our longevity and exceptional customer service.
Kirby Real Estate. Experience, trust, community. Call Joe Kirby today.
Looking to save more and stress less? This is Will Perkins. At Taylorville Community Credit Union, we're here to help you build a stronger financial future with great loan and deposit rates, convenient locations, and service from people you know and trust. We're member-owned, member-focused, and proud to serve anyone who lives or works in Christian, Montgomery, or Shelby counties. Discover the credit union difference. TCCU is your partner in financial success. Member NCUA.
You can feel it coming. Winter's on the way. The cold, the wind, and yes, the snow. Don't spend another season battling old man winter. At Taylorville Estates Assisted Living, you'll stay cozy, comfortable, and cared for. Get on the waiting list now at 705 South Houston in Taylorville. As winter weather hits, make the call and don't fall. Enjoy peace of mind knowing help is always nearby and friends are just down the hall. Stop by and visit with Administrator Tony Clark or call 824-2222. Taylorville Estates Assisted Living, encouraging independence, enriching lives.
WTIM.
You're listening to WTIM, your information station, and our morning show brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first and landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Grayson Bauman. Joining us in this segment, Gwen Podesky, Sandy Klein, Master Gardeners with the University of Illinois Extension. We talk care for holiday plants, whether Christmas trees, poinsettias, or even those Christmas cactuses, maybe rosemary too. Well, what about getting gifts for those that love doing some gardening? And you're not thinking gifts or gardening maybe right now here in the heart of winter, but what about for those Christmas gifts or maybe those folks that might be interested? I feel like I have two perfect people to tell me some gift ideas.
Right. Well, to begin with, you might check and see if they need a new pair of garden gloves to stuff in their stocking. Nitrile lined garden gloves are just the best thing. They work on lots of projects but they're the bomb when it comes to, there's a gardening hori knife. That's Hori. If you look that up online, it's a great gardening knife. It's got several kinds of edges. You will cut yourself if you're not careful. A notch to cut things off, and it's even got the blades got measurements on it, so you know how deep you're digging. I almost don't use anything else in the garden other than that thing. So
there's just a
so
few
there's
off the
a couple
top.
of things.
Is that the orange one?
The orange
Yeah,
handle.
I
It's
have-
usually
yeah.
they have orange handles.
Yeah.
There are, new tools, new garden tools, maybe a pair of Felco trimmers, get a good pair of pruners for folks. A small pruning saw is another nice object. New garden boots or garden shoes. I have a pair of shoes called Muck. They're from the Muck Boots Company. I don't know if that still is in business or not, but they're the best.
Muck socks are. I saw
Okay.
muck socks. The other
Well, then
day.
they must be. So yeah, there are garden shoes. There are all kinds of things like that.
Hats. If somebody wears hats,
Yeah. Or how about a master gardener training? Pay for their master gardener training for the upcoming year.
Yeah.
We're going to have a couple of hybrid sessions in the unit this coming year. And I don't have the dates with me right now, but we've also got the online training, I think, is going to happen in the fall. So if you've been interested in being a master gardener, say, hey, how about if you pay for my training for master gardening?
Would love to. So
Yeah.
gift idea wise, we can stock the stuffing, and then maybe at the very top we can say, here you go. It's time.
Right, exactly.
We have got you working into
Exactly.
it. So a
Yeah.
hori knife, new gloves, new tools. Maybe that's a pruning saw or more. Shoes, master gardener training. There's a lot of ideas.
Yeah.
And thankfully we have you two to
Yeah.
tell us those
Yeah.
ideas. Because
Collapsible hose. One year,
Yeah.
my son got me for Mother's Day 2 lengths of collapsible hose.
my
Yes,
goodness, he knows you well.
Yeah. I have those too. Had those.
Yeah, so I mean, there's
And-
all kinds of things if you start thinking.
Yeah,
about
those
it.
collapsible hose are really a good idea.
Especially for the older gardener.
Older people,
Yeah, because you're not lugging that rubber hose around
Right.
and trying to fight with that. It's just
and
a whole lot easier.
tripping over it. You can
Yes.
trip over any hose, but they're real tripping hazard.
Hazards, yeah.
Hoses are.
But a collapsible one.
A collapsible
Right.
one that you can handle and move
Right.
around.
I just
easily.
love it. I love being able to just pick it up in one hand, cart it to one part of my garden, put
Yeah.
it on the fountain, then go put it on the spigot and go. It's just wonderful.
Yes. So this is again why you want to talk to master gardeners about giving garden gift ideas or getting garden gift ideas. So if you still have some things to purchase for that stocking, perfect ideas listed right there.
Right.
We have got just about 2 minutes or a little under here, but also what about planning for like next year's garden? I know that sounds kind of crazy right now, but is this a good time to start doing so?
I think so. I think if you got some time to sit down, because you're still fresh in your mind, where did I put this? Be sure you're going to rotate your crops, that you don't plant the tomatoes where the tomatoes were planted this year. Be sure that you kind of keep in mind what's good and what's not, and keep in mind also that this is turning out to be almost the second driest, if not the driest year since records were kept. So think about doing the gardening with less water involved. And I saw a real interesting segment the other night. It's like 34 minutes as opposed to 7 hours if you just use cardboard and mulch on your vegetable garden. To
Really?
mulch for 7 months or to weed for 7 months. And the difference in temperature in the soil.
Is let alone enough of a
Because
benefit.
as hot as it's been, if you put something down like black plastic, you're basically going to boil
You're
the
gonna
roots of
cook
your
'em.
plants.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that is an idea. A look at. Hopefully, we're hoping that drought breaks, but it is
Yeah.
something to be on the lookout for. But
Right.
to the
And
both
just
of
kind of
you-
make your plans accordingly.
Yes, and hopefully, folks will start to do so and remember what they did just last year. Well, thank you to the both of you for joining me here today,
You're welcome.
Merry Christmas.
and Merry Christmas
Yes.
to you, Gwen Podesky, Sandy Klein, Master Gardeners with the University of Illinois Extension here on the WTIM Morning Show.
Spending bill comes with a mind-blowing price tag.
just over $900 billion